Back at it again. Another very busy day as things continue to escalate here in the Western world. You've been shaking hands lately with people, have you?
I've been trying to kiss as many women on the cheeks as I can and haven't got arrested yet.
I see. Well, we'll watch for that on CNN.
Yeah. Only women I know, of course, that I say hello to. And as an Italian, once upon a time, you were able to kiss people on the cheeks, both men and women. But now, as an Italian, Napolitano, born in the Bronx, I'm ashamed of the Italian people. I'm ashamed of them that they'd let this little boy, Prime Minister Conte, and get rid of that O and put in a U.
Yeah.
A little boy that was brought into office, not elected.
Another one.
And we're shutting down the whole country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Sure he did. I don't think
he's an expert in this field. He is a total expert, like the little morons you have in all these other states of America that are calling emergencies and telling people to stay home. We're going to close the schools until March 17th. We're going to close them to April 13th. We're going to send in the National Guard into New Rochelle, New York. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And everybody bows down and takes it. And I just realized, as ashamed as I am at the Italians for taking all this crap from that guy Conte and get out the O and put in a U, they did the same thing bending over to Mussolini.
Huh. That's quite a parallel. Interesting. Mussolini didn't ever shut the whole damn country down.
It's true. They bent over to a dictator. And they're bending over to dictators now. I got this little boy, Mario Cuomo. Mario Cuomo was the governor of New York.
Yeah,
his little boys, Andrew Cuomo, became the governor. His other little boy, Chris Cuomo, on the Cartoon News Network, CNN.
Yeah.
Little boys born on third base and thought they hit a home run. And again, it's all, you go to my YouTube, Gerald Celente, Celente, and you see last week and the week before, little Andrew Cuomo declaring that he snuck in this thing, that now El Governor of New York has the right to call emergency powers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So he did that on Wednesday. On Saturday, he declared a state of emergency.
Just for New Rochelle or the whole city? Just for New Rochelle or the... Just, okay.
Yeah, but then he got de Blasio, this other piece of garbage crap, slimy little lowlife, and I'll tell him right to his face, 57 John Street, Kingston, New York, you little piece of crap, don't tell me what to do. Come over here and try to tell me. Oh, leave your little boys behind you. Oh, yeah, you tough cops, leave them behind you. Come to me and tell me what to do. And we'll see how far it goes, Junior. All right, so now they're closing down Madison Square Garden for we don't know how long. Wow. And then you got this other little lowlife guy down there in Maryland. What's his name? Holder, hand job, whatever it is. Yeah, he declared a state of three cases. Mm-hmm. 3 cases. How many people were shot in Baltimore last night?
Yeah, I'm sure 3 cases at least.
3 cases. Yeah. How many people have died in the United States? Tell me.
It's a little over 1,000, isn't it?
No.
What is it?
You're way off, man. You see, I think you've been listening to the mainstream. You've been listening to the mainstream media
too many numbers, Gerald. Too many numbers.
Come on, how many people died in the United States?
150. Less?
150. 150.
Is that right?
Right? Well, let's Google it up.
Hold on, let's see. Virus. All right. This is silly. 40 deaths.
You got it.
See, no, it's Italy had 1,000. You got me on this Italy thing with that governor or
Italy
president
had, what, 700,
Conte.
600?
There's over 1,000. 1,000.
No.
Yes.
No.
Look it up.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, they went over 1,000 yesterday. Then that was it. You got me on this Conti guy. Here, Italy coronavirus death toll surges past 1,000. This is Al Jazeera.
Okay.
More than 4,600 people have died and more than 126,000 infected globally. But in Italy, here, the death toll from an outbreak in Italy has jumped in the last 24 hours to 1,016, a jump of 23%. The country's Civil Protection Agency said on Thursday, which is today.
Okay.
Total number of cases in Italy, 15,000. So there you go.
All right. Now, the people that are dying, how many in America?
Well, they're claiming 40 deaths in the U.S., but that's really
40.
silly because they're not counting people who have died of pneumonia who weren't tested. We got a testing issue
but I'm just saying 40. They're saying 40 deaths. So we're going to take the numbers. We'll take the numbers. How many people live in America?
How many people
live in America?
Are citizens who live in this country?
327 million people.
Yeah, and there's probably 45 million that shouldn't be here, but that's another story.
All right, so we got 40 people out of 327 million people.
Oh, I'm totally on the front page here with you. 35,000 a year die from influenza. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
All right.
And why is this? Why the question is, yes, why are they pumping it up so much when we've had swine flu, H1N1, we've had SARS, we've had other issues that are equally as potentially volatile, and nothing ever happened? Why now? That's the question.
Because the media did it. It's the same thing when there's a hurricane. You got all these little prostitutes they dress up in their hurricane drag, and the wind is blowing, and the trees are bending over.
Oh, they love to go out there with
the boardwalk.
Their cameraman or camerawoman and go out there and stand in the wind and pretend like they're getting blown away. They love that.
Exactly. That's what did it. And then the politicians look up the definition of politician, someone that runs for office, blah, 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 blah. A person that's manipulative and devious, typically to gain advancement within an organization.
Right.
So the politicians seized upon this. The big story here, as I see it, is that this is the beginning of a takeover that we have not seen since World War II, when governments put in so many conditions and restrictions on the people.
Oh, absolutely. And the people will take it as long as they feel like they're being protected. Remember that. That's the secret.
You got it. So the politicians are now in charge. I have intelligent people that I know that are saying to me, well, look, if they're telling us to do this. I said, wait a minute.
Do it.
I said, if Cuomo tells you to do this, it's okay. But you hate Trump. So if Trump told you to do it, you wouldn't do it. But you believe this guy, so you're doing it.
Yeah, I hear you. Good points. All of them.
You got this other one, Angela Merkel, over in Germany. Take a look at her.
No, you look at her. I'll pass. Tell me how it Tell me how it goes.
The sick-looking, unhealthy.
I know. Horrible.
You know what she declared? That 70% of the German people are going to be infected. She's an expert. She knows damn well.
Oh, I see.
Oh, and the experts that they ask are these little low-life pieces of garbage crap that are put into the bureaucratic system by the sucky, low-life politicians that put them in there because they're buddies.
They're bureaucrats, all of them.
They're bureaucrats.
Yeah.
Low-life pieces of garbage. Oh, they're the exploits. The exploits are telling us to do this. This is a takeover. This is a military
Gerald,
takeover.
let me back you up. I believe they're going to use this, in all likelihood, to try to push a digital currency regimen on the public now. They've already talked about how banknotes, otherwise those things in your wallet or your purse, dollar bills, $10 bills, are dirty. They're disease-carrying, disease-vectoring enemies, and they should be gotten rid of. We need to go strictly digital. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is, I do believe they're going to begin to...
Let's stop on that one thing.
All right,
Let's stop on the one thing. Go to YouTube, put in the name Celente, Celente, and then put in Kitco, and see the interview I did with them yesterday. That's exactly what I said.
Oh, really?
I was on with David Knight today on InfoWars.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. So we are on the same exact page. They're going to do. The governments are broke. They're going to come out with a new currency.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a digital currency.
This is the shakedown.
They'll know every penny that you spent, where you spent it, when you spent it.
Absolutely. Correct. And that's not all. We'll get to the next thing in a minute. Here's Gerald on, who's Daniela Cambone?
She's
Italiano.
Great. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's great. But I think it's around 14 minutes if you go in there.
It is.
I think it's about 14 minutes.
Where do you want me to go? How far in do I go?
I can try like 14 minutes around there.
Well, it ends at 14 minutes.
Okay, then it was 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Try 10.
All right, here we go. Here's Gerald at 9:41. Let's go ahead and let it run there. All right, here.
People with track records of nothing but failure telling the people what to do. Oh, we got this little governor over here, Cuomo. He's a genius. He knows everything. Like his brother Chris, born on third base and thought they hit a home run because his daddy was Mario Cuomo, now calling in the National Guard to go to New Rochelle. What is that going to do? They're making up this stuff as they go along. They don't know what to do. They're unqualified, and they are destroying the global economy.
The point I'm trying to get to, and I hear what you're saying, and I agree, Italy has a very elderly population, hence the reason it's affecting the country so much. But why would the government to take these draconian measures?
All right, I got it. Anyway. That was done in. They put a camera in your beautiful office there, didn't they? You did that from?
But keep going on this because this is important. I got to the digital thing coming up, and you can see how I'm calling them out.
And basically,
here we go.
You're right. Italy was already on the brink of a recession, and this will basically cripple the economy. Why would they want to shut down the economy if this is not a serious issue?
This to me is a power play of control. If there's one thing that this is showing me is how the governments could take control of the people anytime, anywhere, any place.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Daniela, remember those demonstrations in Hong Kong that were going on continually and that were headline news virtually every day? Don't hear about those anymore. Hey, you French people, no more. You're not allowed to go marching in the street. Same thing in Italy. They had these other movements going on, the new sardine movement and all of it. You're not allowed to do that anymore. So to me, this is government control. And why they're doing it, again, as their track record proves, they're narcissistic sociopaths and psychopaths. And now they're in charge, and they're bringing out their sickness and putting it onto the entire populations.
All right, let's turn to the U.S. economy here, which, what a week of weeks.
That's enough. Just to show you.
Good job. Yeah, good. You nailed it.
But again, if you go on longer, I bring in that I said, now hear this. Now hear this. This is what it's really about. They're going to be giving us a digital currency. They're going to do away with all the currencies that we have so they could bail themselves out. And now they're going to have a digital currency. They'll know every penny that you spent, where you spent it, and how you spent it. So we're on the exact same page, you and I.
That's the perfect pretense for it. When I saw them in China talking about having to wash the actual currency bills because they were contaminated, I said, oh, wait a minute. Where's this going to go? And I said, digital, right here. And it is. You're right. You nailed it. Good job. I'll tell you another thing that's going to go digital, and that's going to the polls on Election Day. Not that it matters that much, but they're going to have online voting. They're going to offer that as an option, and mail-in balloting. They'll do that. You wait. No convention, no Democrat, no GOP convention. That'll all be virtually done with television hookups to all 50 state capitals, where the Democrat or the Republican state chairman will be there to award on camera on this closed-circuit feed the delegates to whoever earned them. That's how it's going to run. They will not have a big convention unless for some ungodly reason, would be a blessing, this thing just goes away. But I don't see that happening. Anyway, we got a lot of changes coming. They're using adversity and stress and panic and fear. It's a fear-based society, remember that, to do things that otherwise they wouldn't be able to get away with. I think you're right. I agree.
This is something we are going into an entirely new direction.
Uncharted.
This is totally we've never seen. I've been at this business for 40 years. I'm 73 years old. I've been around. Nothing like this I've ever seen in my life. The market's crashing the way they are. This is unprecedented because it's not only Wall Street that's going down. They're bringing down Main Street. You're looking at restaurants closed. Yeah. You can't put on the governor of New York has declared not more than 500 people could gather at one time. And I know what you should do because I'm better than you little piece of crap. Oh, hey, wait a minute. I'm the governor of Washington State. I say no more than 150 people could get together. Hey, wait a minute. I know better than you. I'm the all right.
It's true. It's true. And their little petty egos are on full display now. Right out there for everybody to see.
Full display. Perfectly said, little petty egos. Little boys and girls that you hated in high school and college that wanted to be class president and head of the student council telling you what to do. They finally reached where you got, and the people are bending over and taking it.
Yeah. It's
this coronavirus has changed the course of history.
Oh, yes.
It has changed the course of history.
I wrote to somebody today, and I said that almost those exact words. I said, America will never be the same again.
No, not only America, the whole world. No,
yeah,
the whole
it's
world.
changed everything. No, it's changed everything. You're right.
Norway just closed down the whole place.
Shut it down. The ultimate. This is trillions of dollars are being lost. It's a current paradigm, of course, but this is enormous. No one has actually projected. You'll come up with it first. No one's projected the ultimate cost of this thing and the changes and changing that it is bringing about. That'll be something that the Trends Journal will tell us, I'm sure.
No, we'll look at it.
Yeah.
We've been writing about this. Here. These are the equity markets in Asia right now. Nikkei down 9.5%. Shanghai down 3.36%. Hang Seng down 5.5%. Australian markets
that's
down.
Friday. That's Friday. You're talking about tomorrow morning. Yeah, right. Tomorrow morning
Friday.
over there. Yeah.
Tomorrow morning. 7.25%. Hong Kong down 8.1%.
Yeah, that's just one day.
Oil prices, $32.69 a gallon for Brent crude.
A barrel.
West Texas, $30.87. Do you know the money? Do you know the money that's borrowed from the energy companies and doing all the fracking and all of the energy exploration and all of the debt that they have that they can't pay back at this price?
Never going to happen. Nope.
Do you know what they need?
We're going to get $25 oil pretty soon before this is over.
Do you know what they need? Do you know what they need to break even in Saudi Arabia? They need energy. They need oil at around $80 to $100 a barrel to break even for their economy.
Wow.
It's at they're at $32.
The big oil war they've ignited too. It sounds suicidal to me. It's crazy.
Look at them. They're suicidal. How many people did they behead yesterday?
Yeah, they do a couple hundred a year at least in public. That's their big trip over there. It's bad. And if they all go to hell, it doesn't bother me any.
The governments of the world have destroyed the global economy.
No arguments here. Hold on a minute. Back with Gerald right after this. Well, America has a lot of addictions, but one of the big ones is certainly professional sports. Now, with the cancellation of spring training and perhaps the Major League Baseball season, the NHL, the NBA, and who knows what the NFL will face, a lot of people who are sports addicts are going to go into withdrawal. What's going to happen to them? There are many people in this country, and I'm sure a lot of you understand this, who literally have an identity fixation with a team so much that they actually live, eat, and breathe in cadence with that team's success or failure. It's a remarkable thing that we have here as far as addictions go. So with these shutting down, Gerald, a lot of people are going to have to do something else. Millions and tens of millions of people are going to have to do something else rather than look at the ball game. And this will be interesting to see. What are your thoughts on that? Turn it back into people?
No, they're doing it. They've done it all over the world. They're not.
Oh, soccer, right.
Yes, it's not only America, and they're more addicted even in other countries. I'm saying to you, Jeff, Corona apocalypse has changed the course of history.
Agreed.
I've never seen anything like this before.
No,
Governments are destroying the global economy. I call it Corona calamity.
It's a big takedown. You got it. You're right. No, totally.
No, we've never. I want to make this 100% clear. We have never, ever seen anything like this in our entire lives.
Nope.
So now let's go back to the equity markets. It's not only Wall Street that's crashing. Main Street is crashing. So go back to the 87 crash, the dot-com bust, the panic of 08. Wall Street crashed, and then the global, and then the people on the street crashed after that. Now they're both crashing at the same time. You want to take a trip? What cruise don't you want to go on? What airline don't you want to fly on? What country can't you go into? What restaurant is empty? This little piece of garbage crap, slimy, low-life, arrogant nothing of a little boy, de Blasio of New York, we're closing down Madison Square Garden. We'll tell you when we're going to open it up again. All right, how many people are out of work? How many people are out of work in restaurants? How many people are out of work in the airline industry? One industry after another. Out of work, out of work, out of work, out of work. So both the markets are crashing, the equity markets are crashing, and Main Street is crashing at the same time. I've never seen this in my life before. If you could tell me you've seen it before, let me know.
No, it never happened. No, absolutely not. No, we've been turned. We've been turned.
It's global, and people better open their minds up. It's global.
The ramifications of this economically are unprecedented. And I said before the break, no one has even made a guess at the mega trillions that are involved with the changes that are underway right now. It's going to be huge. Huge. But they're going to pick it up. The master game players will give us something new, a new format. It's going to crash, and I always said when it does crash, they'll just reset the game and reconfigure it. But the controllers will remember always to let us know that they're in control one way or the other. It's true. Gerald, I really do believe there's a possibility, and a lot of you out there may not agree with this, but I think it's a possibility that we have to consider that this was a bioengineered device to essentially trigger exactly what Gerald and I are discussing right now. Massive global change. Okay? I think it's possible.
I don't care about the why. All I care about is the what is.
Mm-hmm.
And the what is, regardless of why they did it and how they did it, I'm looking at the implications of it. And as I see this is entirely a media-produced freak show. You go back, and there's another thing, too, vaccinations. They had on ballots of several states not to force children to get vaccinated.
Right.
And that was on Super Tuesday last Tuesday.
Never saw a word about
Tuesday, a week ago.
Nothing. Never saw a word about it. Nothing.
And what happened
kept out of the news.
All of a sudden the coronavirus fears come out, and now they're all the referendums, they're defeated.
It's gone. Never saw anything about it. Let's pull back and look at the big picture, like you have for so many years. Think about this: the internet and how it was created. It took people away from reading newspapers and looking at TV to a whole new paradigm of control. That's the internet. It's a private corporation monopoly, the internet. So they've got control of everybody. There it is. Sports. The world's, escapist fare, if you will be polite. Escapist entertainment is sports. So you've got the people there. Then you've got them on junk food, GMOs, toxic diets. They're sick. They're invested into the medical, pharmaceutical cartel paradigm through no choice of their own. That's how that was set up. It's all been pushing toward this issue of moving everybody into a digital world. And this is a huge step in that direction. That's what's going on. AI, supercomputers, everything monitored, everything controlled, all questions answered. Right?
As I said, the Italians are following Conte, and they followed Mussolini. The Germans followed Hitler. It goes way back. It goes way back. This is just a different technology at a different time. And you can keep controlling the sheeple. The wolves know how to do it. And the sheeple get slaughtered. This is just, we're only dealing with the details here. But the bigger fact is, again, as I said, as an Italian, a Napolitano born in the Bronx, I'm ashamed of the Italian people taking orders from this little low-life piece of crap, closing down an entire nation. Okay, 1,000 people died. 1,000 people of, how many people live in Italy?
17 million.
60 million? 60
70,
million?
isn't it? I forget.
All right. What percentage is 1,000 of that? And who are the ones? Oh, Italy also has the oldest population in Europe. We mentioned before there were about 30 people who died in America.
Yeah. Right.
19 of them died in elder care homes, nursing homes in Washington State. The people that are dying are elderly and chronically ill. That is a hard fact.
Correct. 60 million people in Italy.
60 million, 1,000 died, elderly and already chronically ill. So we're going to close down. Hey, Jeff. What's the worst humanitarian crisis on earth? A place called Yemen. What's the Yemen? They have an Ebola crisis over there?
Yeah. 300,000 dead there. What about the 2 to 3 million dead in Iraq?
How about the cholera epidemic going on in Yemen? Screw you, Celente. Who cares about a cholera epidemic? You mean 10 million of the people now are starving over there in Yemen? Breaking news. One case of coronavirus in Turkey.
Erdogan won't sleep tonight.
How many people? 80 million people? And how about all those Syrians that are trying to escape the war? Only 500,000 are dead. Only about 10 million displaced. Hey, but 30 people died in America. 30 people died in America.
85,000 dead in Yemen from starvation and sickness. There's your cholera right there. Yeah. But I go back to the Iraq thing. This country presided over the liquidation of between 2 and maybe 3 million people over 15 years. We don't know.
But again,
let's go back further. Wait a minute. I just had another thought. What about the 500,000, maybe a lot more, who were incinerated in Dresden over a 4-day period by the U.S. and British bombing formation?
And how many died in Nagasaki and Hiroshima?
Yeah, hundreds of thousands. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was all
and you
unnecessary.
Said 500,000? How about everybody listening? Go to YouTube, put in Madeleine Albright, or not all that bright, and Leslie Stahl.
Yeah,
That's a
classic.
UN Ambassador Albright was the price of 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 worth President Clinton's sanctions? Yes, it was. But watch out for Rosie, Queen of Coronavirus. See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Now, this is, can you imagine the analysts running all this into their AI supercomputers, watching? They have war games. They played this all out in advance. They knew. They have war games that can produce any results they want.
Again, what I'm saying is this is a very important time in history. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life.
Pivotal time. I agree.
This is a new course of history. It's changed.
When the Bidens and the Bernies and the Hillarys and the Trumps and the end of the baby boomers, when they're gone, it'll be a millennial world. That's what we're looking at. And that's not many years away.
Millennial world. It's going to be a militarized world. The military's in control.
Well, that's NORTHCOM here in the U.S.
They sent out the National Guard. They sent out the National Guard in New York.
Yeah. NORTHCOM. Look up NORTHCOM, all of you out there, if you want to know about military control, the quiet part of it, the part you don't see and hear about in North America. NORTHCOM. That's it. Right there. Look it up. This is all, we used to call these beta tests. Gerald, you probably did too. This is an enormous beta test to see how far they can go, what the results are going to be, how the people are going to react. This is all being studied regardless of what coronavirus may or may not be, this is being studied, and it is being steered, and it is being directed into a new paradigm. There's no doubt about it in my mind, and I've watched this for a long time, and I think Gerald's 100% correct. Things are never going to be the same again, and they're going to ratchet up, shorten up the leashes that everyone is on right now, and keep them a little tighter than they were. You watch. And digital currency, every penny, where it's been spent, where it goes, you got it. And remember, also, we used to call it credit ratings. They're going to use that for citizen scoring, or what do they call it in China? You know what I mean. You got to have a certain number of points or you can't even buy an airplane ticket. They're going to have that here, too. You'll have a card and you'll have a rating. And your rating will be like your FICA score, but it'll be a citizen rating. And they're going to use that, too. It's all coming. And fast, not slowly, quickly.
Oh, no, this is very fast.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked at how fast it is. Yeah. Yep. What are your friends telling you? How many people are on the issue like you are? You have people who are just in denial.
Very few.
They're in denial,
very
right?
Few.
Yeah.
Very few. No, I was just with someone today, extremely intelligent guy, and he said, "Well, we have to, we should be listening to, what's going on." I listened to them. I said, well, you listen to Cuomo? You hate Trump, but you listen to Cuomo?
And this is a bright
That's what's going
guy.
on.
Well, there you go.
And go to. You saw a Trends Journal. It's a weekly magazine. We just went out on Tuesday. Check out the cover. COVID-19, prostitutes, puppet masters, peddling hysteria.
Hold on. I'm going to look at this. It's online, I'm sure, right? I want to see this cover.
Yeah, you go to Trends Journal. You'll see the cover.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Good job. Who designed that one?
Oh, you have a great woman, Jamie Anson. We're calling them all out. So,
right.
So what I'm saying is, I said to my buddy, I said, you hate Trump. You won't believe, but you won't follow what he says, but you follow what the clown tells you to follow because you're a Democrat.
Right.
So you believe Cuomo.
I don't.
So now going back to the Trends Journal, we put in there a study. It's divided equally. The Democrats believe that the coronavirus is totally deadly and more has to be done. The Republicans think it's being overplayed.
Well, that's the typical yin and yang of the American political freak show, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, all right.
And here's the other very interesting thing, that gold prices are going way down.
They should be skyrocketing through the roof.
Exactly. There are two reasons why they're going down. Well, the main reason is, number one, that the investment class is also invested in gold.
Uh-huh.
So now, as their stocks are crashing, they're trying to cover losses, so they're selling their gold.
Yeah.
Now go back to 2007 and 2008. Gold was flat between those 2 years as the Panic of 08 is setting in.
Right.
It didn't start to skyrocket till 2009. So my forecast, and I do not give financial advice, I'm a trend forecaster,
right,
is that gold is going to, when it regains its strength, gets over $1,700 an ounce, it's going to spike to over $2,000 an ounce.
Yeah, but if it was left to its own devices, where would it really be?
Oh, Oh, probably
4,000
about 5,000, 6,000. Oh, yeah, easily. And that's the other thing. You see what goes on in the markets. Go back to last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The equity markets in the United States are down like 900 points. In the last 10 minutes, they closed down 200 and something points. The plunge protection team comes in. Friday before that, Dow's down 800 points. 10 minutes before the markets closed, then it goes up. It's rigged. The whole thing is rigged.
Oh, what isn't rigged? Let's ask that question. Pro sports,
so
rigged.
Now,
politics, rigged.
Everybody listening should be taking to the streets on this one. Yesterday or today, the Federal Reserve announced they're going to pump in over $1 trillion into the equity markets to boost them. Is that correct?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay. Yep. So now, again, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just making a point. They call Bernie Sanders a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to give money to the people. He's a socialist. He's terrible. And I think he's a piece of garbage, by the way, just to make it clear. But I'm just making the point. But it's okay to take $1 trillion of our money and give it to the hedge funds and the gamblers.
Of $1 trillion.
A minimum of $1 trillion into the equity markets to bail out the gamblers. That's okay.
Exactly right. Say no more. That's it. It's criminal. What's going on is criminality. Okay? Graft, corruption, it's wholesale theft is what it is. They're stealing and looting our country.
Right in front of everybody's eyes.
Yeah,
and who's saying that? I don't see anybody else saying that.
No, you're it. No, I've been saying similar, but you're the man. You're the only okay, I don't claim credit. I'm sure a lot of people saw this coming. I was saying in October, November that 2020 was going to be hell on wheels. I just had a sense. I'm not particularly prescient. And you have been predicting that 2020 would be the Great Depression, the greatest of depressions. I think that's what you said. And you're right.
The greatest depression.
Manipulated depression.
I thought it would happen in 2021.
Well, they didn't want to wait around, did they? Yeah.
No, and I always made it clear that, and I say when people say, Gerald Celente, a futurist, I'm not a futurist. No one can predict the future. There are too many wild cards, whether they're man-made or made by nature. This is a wild card. It's a black swan. So now the greatest depression has begun. I was going along the lines of what was going on in the equity markets, what was going on in the economy, doing the numbers in economies and on, and bringing it to 2021. All of a sudden, goodbye, Rosie, Queen of Coronavirus shows up. Whole game changes. That's why anybody that calls themselves a futurist, take it easy, don't want to hear it. You can't predict the future. This is a wild card of the wildest cards I have ever seen in my life.
Now, this is the one.
Again,
this is it.
Mainstream is going down with Wall Street.
I'm really sorry about the loss of what's left of Main Street America. It's gone. Small businesses, they're talking about $50 billion to loan small businesses money. That's what Trump said in that horrible presentation he gave last night. This is sad. Mainstream America, Main Street America was killed off years ago by the big box stores. It's been on life support since then. And then the internet came and wiped them both out, basically. Target trying to get online. They're all trying to get online.
What they did was they did away with the Robinson-Patman Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, Clayton Antitrust Act.
Well, there's Amazon.com right there.
Arrogant little. I cannot stand these people with this, that attitude that they just talk nice like this and they don't upset you. Don't you talk, but these passive aggressive people like little Jimmy Carter. This is the guy that did away with the usury laws. This is the guy that allowed the banks to do interstate banking when they were only allowed to do intrastate banking. So it's one after another. They kept robbing us and
Slick
giving
Willie.
all of the power to the bigs.